Agriculture in Tamil Nadu.
Agriculture is the primary and the traditional occupation of the people of Tamil Nadu. Dear children, what is agriculture? Agriculture is the practice of growing plants for the purposes of food and the related activities. Agriculture does not include only producing food, but also it includes fisheries, forest and other related activities. If you take up agriculture, the topic as such, we will deal in depth with various types of farming and the related activities. First, let's take the subsistence intensive farming. Subsistence intensive farming. When farmers are engaged in their own lands for the production of crops and they are not producing them for the external trade, it is said to be subsistence intensive farming. When you, for example, have a land beside your house and you produce brinjal, carrot or other crops and you use it only for your household purposes, this is an example of subsistence intensive farming. For our convenience, subsistence intensive farming is classified into wet farming, dry farming and irrigation farming. What is wet farming? Wet farming is done throughout the year where the river beds are there. Sugarcane and cotton are the major crops. Come to this dry farming. Dry farming is taken up by the farmers only during the rainy season. You know, we have got the northeast monsoon and the southwest monsoon and the cyclonic rainfall season. Only during these seasons the farming is taken up and the rest of the months the farmers are unemployed. Dear children, during this dry farming people cultivate only the millets and the cereals. Last, it is irrigation farming. During this irrigation farming also people cultivate only cotton, sugarcane and rice. Irrigation farming itself will suggest that water is used from the wells, tanks, lakes and other related sources. In Tamil Nadu, this irrigation farming is coming up and this is the most important need of the hour. As we all know that people in Tamil Nadu don't get rain throughout the year and even the monsoons can sometimes fail. So it is for up to you and to me to make use of this irrigation farming to the maximum use so that the land can be put to its effective. Agriculture is a very interesting topic because it deals about the livelihood of all of us. This is a very important topic to everyone who is living on the earth. Particularly, it's more important to you and to me because India is an agricultural land. We have already discussed the types of farming. Once again, for your reminder, there are three kinds of farming: subsistence intensive farming, plantation farming and mixed farming. Subsistence intensive farming has got three kinds which we have seen: wet farming, dry farming and irrigation farming. The second one is plantation farming. Plantation crops. Plantation crops are otherwise called cash crops. These plantation crops are coffee, rubber, tea and pepper. They are produced not for the local consumption but for the trade. That's why they are called cash crops. The hilly areas in Tamil Nadu have got this kind of cultivation. It requires intensity of water and fair weather. The climate has to be always chill. So, this kind of plantation crops are found only in the hilly areas. Let's go to this mixed farming. What is mixed farming? Children, when a land supports more than one kind of agricultural activity, it is called mixed farming. For example, in a small plot of area, different crops are raised at the same time. Besides having poultry and other farming activities, we call them mixed farming. Land is very, very valuable, and when the land is put to multiple works, time is saved, people can earn more and more money, besides having multiple benefits. So mixed farming is highly desirable. It's people, we have to go for the mixed farming and we can be more prosperous. Children, there's a new word called market gardening. It may be a new term to you because you know the term market and the gardening. Now the two words have come together with a new concept. What is the new concept? Raising flowers and fruits for the market. It is called market gardening. The southern districts, for instance, if you go travel to Madurai, the temple city, you will see that Malligai, where it is sold on a large scale. And people come and buy these flowers and fruits, and the yield per hectare is very, very handsome. It is taken up by the huge number of farmers these days, and it is yielding the result they have expected.
Agriculture is the prime and traditional occupation for the people of Tamil Nadu. The practice of growing plants on a large scale for food and other purposes is known as agriculture. Agriculture includes not only cultivation of crops, but also rearing of animals, birds, forestry, fisheries, and other related activities. About 56% of the people of Tamil Nadu are farmers. Agricultural sector supplies food and fodder to the people and cattle respectively. It is the source of raw material for many of the industries. Types of farming. The methods of growing crops vary from region to region and can be classified as follows. Subsistence intensive farming. Farming that is carried on small land holdings that produce food crops for local consumption and not for external trade is known as subsistence intensive farming. Most farmers in Tamil Nadu practice subsistence intensive farming. With the availability of water for cultivation, farming methods are classified into three types: wet farming, dry farming, and irrigation farming. Wet farming, farming which gets water supply throughout the year both from rainfall and irrigation, is known as wet farming. Crops cultivated are rice and sugarcane. Most river basins of Tamil Nadu practice this type of farming. Dry farming, farming carried out only during rainy season without irrigation, is known as dry farming. Crops cultivated are ragi and other millets. Drier regions of Vellore, Thiruvannamalai, Ramanathapuram and Tirunelveli practice this type of farming. Irrigation farming. Irrigation farming is the practice of growing crops with supply of water through various sources of irrigation like wells, lakes and canals. Rice, cotton and sugarcane are grown with irrigation farming in most part of Tamil Nadu. Most of the farmers in Tamil Nadu practice subsistence intensive and irrigation farming. As water requirement for each crop varies, irrigation plays a major role in agricultural development of Tamil Nadu. Plantation farming. Plantation farming is yet another type of farming where crops are grown on large farms or estates. Plants like tea, coffee, rubber, and pepper are grown as plantation crops on the hill slopes of Tamil Nadu. Mixed farming. Mixed farming is one wherein land is allotted for more than one activity along with agriculture. The farmer grows 2 or 3 varieties of crops along with cattle rearing, poultry, and fishing on a large land holding. This method is profitable to the farmer as it provides regular and continuous income. This kind of farming is much prevalent in the Kaveri Delta region. Market gardening. Market gardening includes horticulture and floriculture, that is, growing fruits, vegetables and flowers in a large scale for supply to the urban markets and also for export purposes. Districts such as Madurai, Nilgiris, Tiruvallur and Kanchipuram practice this type of farming.